Yeah, it was good. You want to know something interesting about, my uncle lived like, when you got family members that live close to you, my uncle lived a few blocks down. And just walking back from his crib, just had some other family members over. We were all watching the game, Spurs and the Thunder. Now I'm headed back to the crib and shit. I was like, you know what? Finna fuck around and go live. Fuck around and go live. Coming back from my uncle's house, watching that Spurs and Thunder. Yeah. But nah, man. Spurs put an ass whooping on the Thunder tonight. Got their ass up out of there. Tied 2-2 going back to Oklahoma City. So it's going to be very interesting. I kind of predicted this was going to happen. They're going to bounce back because that was such a great win on Friday. And I was like, Spurs going to fuck around and come back and win game 4, I think. And then I thought it, and that's actually what happened. So shout out to the Spurs. What's good with y'all in the chat? Appreciate y'all. Salute, salute, salute. Fucks with everybody that comes in the chat. Big. So yeah, man, we had an interesting ass sports weekend, man. For real. Cavaliers acting like hoes against the Knicks on that clown shit. Ain't supposed to be down no 3-0 to the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks is good, but don't get this shit twisted. That bullshit out of here. I was mad as hell watching that game. You dig? I had to work this weekend, but y'all know how I get down. I fuck with my sports. Yeah. Shout out to Boxing 9741. Shout out to BYU. Shout out to Mike. Again, I appreciate y'all. Walking back from my uncle's house, going live on y'all ass. That's what we doing tonight. Memorial Day weekend, it is what it is. Yeah, Wemby ain't no joke. He the dude. Yeah, Wemby the guy. Yeah, Wemby the guy. He the guy. 7'5" dude that can do that. Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. The Thunder can still win this series, but AJ Mitchell got to play because he's kind of like the Jalen Williams replacement. And with him being hurt, that hurts the Thunder's offensive output. So it's like he got to get back. So they need that. If they don't get that, shit, who knows what the fuck's going to happen. But I'm going to tell y'all this, though. Whoever win out of the Spurs and the Thunder, they going to fuck around. And the Knicks is cool, but I don't think they can beat either the Spurs or the Thunder. Not in the playoff series. So whoever win this shit, this Western Conference Finals, they winning the title. Yeah, Cavs, yeah, that was some hoe shit yesterday. They should at least, I should have known better when the Cavs gave up that 22-point lead in game 1. I should have known, they on some, they bullshit. They ain't trying to win. But that was some hoe-ass shit yesterday. No competitiveness. Damn near gave up, I want to say. And I shouldn't even say that because these guys are pros. But that was some bullshit. They let the Knicks beat them like that. I ain't like that at all. That bothered me right there. And I'm not a Cavs fan, but I wasn't feeling that. So, yeah, the Cavs, I'm going to have to agree with you on that. Yeah, the Cavs look like they done. Yeah. And then, the boxing shit, that card on Saturday, the Usyk, we got to talk about it. Man, that shit was kind of weird. I ain't going to cap. Everybody was talking that shit, saying Usyk was just going to easily go in there and win. I keep harping to these guys. Yeah, the guy's a kickboxer, but at the same time, he does combat sports. And at the end of the day, it's a fight. Anything could happen. But yeah, Usyk should have went in there and dominated. But why are these stupid motherfuckers on these panels? I'm hearing. Why are they acting surprised? You know what I'm saying? The reason why I say that though is because what I don't like is a lot of people are making excuses for Usyk instead of just keeping it real. See, that's why I'm like I keep telling y'all. That's why I clash a lot with these fucking idiots on this boxing shit because these motherfuckers don't keep it real, and then they get mad at people like me that keeps it real. Why can't you motherfuckers just say, "Hey man, Usyk got caught by surprise. That kickboxer dude was better than expected, and he kind of beat Usyk." These motherfuckers making excuses for Usyk. They're saying bullshit like, "Oh no, his head wasn't in it. He didn't take him serious." That ain't Rico. What's the guy name? Rico. That ain't his fault. You dig? And they're pointing that shit out like that's the end of the story. No, nigga. When they were fighting, the dude had a style that Usyk couldn't figure out, and he couldn't do nothing with. I sat there. Now, luckily, I got off work. Y'all, I'm pretty sure y'all don't give a fuck about what time I get off work and all that. I'm just trying to prove a point by saying this. Because I missed a little bit of the earlier fights. I watched the replays, though, so I saw what happened. But I got off work just in time to watch that fight. And I sat there and I watched it. From what I saw, remember, all you Solidus-T haters out there, I know boxing, and I know what the fuck I'm looking at. From what I saw, the guy had a style that Usyk couldn't figure out. Usyk, as great as he is, don't get this shit twisted. He's a great fighter, but as great as he is, he's used to fighting guys that are, there's a difference between a puncher and a boxer. Most heavyweights nowadays are punchers, not boxers. Boxers, guys that got footwork, guys that know how to move, guys that know how to fight and move, guys that know how to jab, set up shots, guys that don't just stand there and let you punch on them. Boxers. Most heavyweights nowadays are not boxers like that. They're just big guys that pause. They're just bigger guys that can punch. This guy, this kickboxer guy, can actually move. From what y'all saw, he was actually moving, and he punched hard enough to where it's like he might not knock Usyk out, but he gonna make Usyk respect that shit. You dig? And if you watch the fight, he had an awkward rhythm that Usyk could not get down. He could not get that timing down, and so he struggled with him. You dig? He struggled with him. And from what I saw, it looked like Usyk lost the fight, but got saved by a buzzer beater in boxing. He dropped him in the 11th round with 10 seconds left, and then the ref stopped the fight after the bell was rung. So a lot of people are up saying, "Oh, it was a bullshit stop. They shouldn't have stopped the fight." That's what's being said, and I agree with that. Because we don't know what the fuck could have happened. Maybe he recovered in the 12th round and didn't get knocked out. We don't know because the referee didn't let it play out. You know what I'm saying? But technically, Usyk lost, even though he still won. I know that sounds ridiculous, but he was losing. He lost that fight. The fucking kickboxer dude was getting him. He was getting him. He was hitting his ass with body shots. He hit him with that right hand a couple of times. What stood out to me, though, I was kind of surprised that Usyk couldn't get out of the way of that right hand. I was like, I didn't expect that. I'm thinking Usyk's just going to do better than he did as far as getting out of the way of that right hand. That kind of threw me off. I was like, that's kind of surprising. But he got caught with some big shots, and I sat there and watched that fight round after round. Usyk was getting outboxed and getting outworked. Got to keep it real. Now, a lot of you motherfuckers love Usyk, so y'all going to do all that capping shit like y'all did for that motherfucker Canelo, acting like he's fucking Jesus Christ. And a lot of y'all Usyk fanboys were doing that. You're always accusing somebody of not keeping the same energy and not keeping it real, and then your bitch ass do it when the fighter you like is in a situation where it's like, hey, let's keep it real. Yes. So when people get up here and say the heavyweight division is looking like shit right now, I don't know if I want to go as far as to say Usyk is overrated. That might be saying too much. But what I saw this past weekend, in my opinion, Usyk's legacy might take a hit a little bit. He's still a great fighter. He's still a Hall of Famer. So all you fucking retards, you can calm down. I ain't bashing him like that. It's just like Canelo. Yeah, he lost to a guy he should have beat, but he's still a great fighter. All you bitch ass Canelo fans with that bullshit. Pretty sure y'all going to get in the comment sections or y'all going to listen to this shit with y'all faggot ass opinions on shit. I understand how y'all work. But the thing is, we got to keep it real. Legacy kind of took a hit because we understand that a fight's a fight, but he shouldn't have that. I can see a few rounds, but he shouldn't have been getting outworked and outboxed like that by a kickboxer. That shouldn't have happened. You know, I can see a few rounds he was getting them, and then Usyk just figured it out. But it just really surprised me how he couldn't get out of the way of that right hand, and it took him that long to like land a big shot like that, the uppercut. That was in the 11th round. That's technically the end of the fight. Fight's pretty much over. It's only 3 minutes left. That should have happened sooner, given how good Usyk is. You know? So that shit was weird, man. That was a weird fight. But yeah, Usyk, his legacy kind of took a hit. You know, and nobody thought that was going to happen. Everybody was saying that he was just going to go in there and walk through this dude. I was like, yeah, he should, but shit, it's a fight. But yeah, man, his legacy kind of took a hit. Dub Nation. But hey, they gave him the win. Weird fight. Here's what it is. Still the champ. Now I guess they're going to do the Cabiel fight next. Cabiel or rematch, one of those two. So he probably want to have an easier time with Cabiel because Cabiel's not a mover like that. Because like I said, most of these heavyweights, they just want to punch, not necessarily box where you're moving and punching. You know what I mean? So he probably have an easier time with him. So the reason why I said Canelo is because I'm making an example because a lot of people that like Usyk, they're doing the same thing people that like Canelo are doing. It's like they act like Usyk is perfect, like how Canelo fans act like Canelo is perfect. Canelo got beat fair and square by Terrence Crawford, but what are Canelo fans saying? They're making all these excuses. That's what's going on with Usyk right now. And I'm just trying to understand, why can't y'all just keep it real and say, yeah, that happened, and that's unfortunate, and then we can just talk. Y'all don't do that. That's why I'm always getting at y'all, because y'all be on that fake shit, but y'all want to talk shit about me. Like, I'm a Devin Haney fan. Everybody knows that. Do you motherfuckers hear me making excuses for Devin Haney? No. I understand. I'm going to say that this is my 10th time saying this shit on here. I'm going to say this shit again right now. I understand Ryan he cheated or whatever, and it's a fake win. I understand that. But when him and Devin was in the ring fighting, Ryan whooped his ass. I'm not going to sit here and lie for Devin. That's what happened. He got dropped 3 times and he won the fight. But see, you Canelo fans and you Usyk fans, y'all going to make excuses instead of just keeping it real. That's why I'm bringing up Canelo, because it's the same bullshit that Canelo fans do for Canelo. It's like they act like dude is perfect and shit. You know, y'all know how y'all falsely slander Crawford because it upset y'all that much that he beat Canelo. And you Usyk supporters, instead of just keeping it real and saying the kickboxer got off on him, y'all are making excuses for Usyk instead of just keeping it real. I'm waiting for a motherfucker to keep it real and say, yeah, I fuck with Usyk, but yeah, man, he took an L in that fight, bro. Yeah, I mean, he won, but shit, I watched that fight. He was getting his ass whooped or getting outworked. Let's say he was getting outworked. Because the kickboxer dude, I ain't gonna cap, bro. He was bombing on Usyk. He was hitting him with some shots. Y'all saw what happened. But I know y'all gonna get up here with that bullshit and y'all favorite fighter is in a situation y'all don't like. Because what y'all do is when y'all don't get the results that y'all like, y'all start making up narratives like how y'all do for Canelo. And now y'all doing it for Usyk. You know, just like if Inoue was black, y'all would be saying he's a boring fighter for the Nakatani fight. But you're not going to say that because he's not black. Because y'all only call black fighters boring. But then when a non-black fighter does the same thing a black fighter does, y'all won't say they're boring. Like example, you know how Dimitri Bivol, he uses a lot of movement in his boxing? When black fighters do that, they say you're running, but they won't say Bivol's running. You see what I'm saying? And it's the same thing a black fighter does. He uses movement, footwork. He doesn't stand there and let guys punch him. But it's okay when he does it, though. Then when the black nigga does it, all you non-black motherfuckers that claim y'all like boxing, y'all scream up and down, they're running. So y'all don't keep it real. Y'all fake. And y'all want to get out here and try to disrespect me with this shit. But y'all the ones that's fraud. And that's why every time I go live, I make sure to disrespect y'all. That's why I do that. I make sure to do that every chance I get. Fuck y'all. Because it's fake. And I don't like fake people. Just like the overweight guy with the glasses that for whatever reason won't get off my dick. You dig? For whatever strange reason. I don't know. I don't know what that's all about. Kind of creepy to me because everybody else that talks shit about me, they just say they shit about me, keep it moving. But for some reason, this guy wants to be stuck on that. You know? Because I would hate to have to really have to do you dirty. I would hate to have to do that. Because I can. Yeah, don't get it twisted. Well, let me see what these chats are saying. Yeah, that's a fact. I'm fucking with it. That's all it is. But overall, though, to be more positive with it, it was a great card in my opinion. I understand a lot of y'all was probably frustrated with the Hamza Shiraz fight because he fought somebody that was just there to get beat. They gave him a belt, so I can understand that. So no need to talk about that. I thought Jack Catterall had the best performance on the whole fight card because Chakram, I ain't gonna cap. I struggle with pronouncing his last name. I think I'm saying his first name right. Chakram, I know who he is. He's actually a ranked opponent at 147, good fighter. Jack Catterall is a good fighter. Y'all know about him. I thought Jack Catterall did the best on the whole fight card, in my personal opinion. Like, he boxed the best. I was actually impressed with his fighting, and I thought that was a great win. You know what I mean? Got a belt. Like, I'm fucking with Jack Catterall right now. So, yeah, that was a great one. So, it was a good fight card. That shit was dope. Richie Torres got his ass knocked out. I saw that coming because you know who and you know why they thought he was really good. That tribal bullshit. But if you're actually paying attention, you would have known, like, he's kind of, not saying he's trash, but I don't know about high quality, but you know who was saying he was high quality and you know why. You know, you're not even paying attention to what's going on. You're just rooting for a guy because he's one of your own. You know, whatever with that bullshit. But I saw that knockout coming. Get in there with somebody that got, because, you know, Frank Sanchez got that experience. I remember like 10 years ago when he used to fight on, because, you know, Frank Sanchez is an Al Heyman fighter, PBC. And I remember watching his fights when he was on PBC and he was good back then. You know, he got that experience and he got that pop in his hand. So I was like, he gonna fuck want to knock his ass out. And then I sat there and watched. He knocked his ass out. So that looked about right. And then I forgot that one dude's name, that white dude that got beat by that African dude. I forgot his name. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but it was overall a good fight card. I fucked with it. See, a lot of people be talking shit about these crossover fights. They don't be liking that shit. They be like crossover fights and all that. They be talking down. Me personally, I don't mind them. Like, I don't really give a fuck. Like, because I know y'all heard all the shit people were saying. Oh, this is a bullshit fight and all that. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, it'd be better if he was fighting, I guess, Cabiel or that young boy. So, yeah, I understand that, but I ain't going to dismiss it because you never know. You might fuck around and get surprised. And that turned out to be what happened. You know what I mean? Just like Ngannou surprised everybody with the Fury fight. You know, he went in there and did okay. And people was talking shit about Fury. So it's like sometimes, every now and then you get surprised. Because the only crossover fight that I didn't want to watch, that I did not watch, was when Jake Paul fought Joshua. Because I don't like Jake Paul. And unlike you haters, I don't watch fighters I don't like, and I don't talk about fighters I don't like. You motherfuckers talk about fighters y'all don't like, but swear you don't like them. In my opinion, that's weird behavior, but that's what y'all do. I don't do that. I'm not weird like y'all. If I don't fuck with you, don't think you're a good fighter, I'm not going to support you, because a lot of these guys swear up and down certain fighters are boring, but they pay attention to everything they do. They talk about them all the time. And it's like, you say this guy's boring and you don't like him, but you keep his name in your mouth. You dig? It's just like the fat dude with glasses. I don't fuck with him. We're not cool at all. But for whatever reason, He wants to send me a million messages. You dig? And I'm not even cool with the guy. You dig? Don't fuck with you. None of that. You dig? But he wants to send me a million messages every chance he get. He wants to watch my content. You dig? I don't do that. If I don't fuck with if I don't fuck with you, I'm not watching your content. I'm definitely not sending you no messages. Definitely not sending another man messages over and over again. But for whatever reason, this guy wants to do that. Usyk should be a bridgeway Solidus, but being said, never thought he was skilled as Mayweather or Crawford. Nah, I wouldn't put him above Mayweather or Crawford, but he's definitely on that level. He's as good as Mayweather or Crawford, but I wouldn't say better. Usyk is definitely an all-time great, but he just got surprised in this fight, and I personally felt he lost, and the referee saved him from getting that on his record, me personally. And I think anybody with eyes that knows boxing would agree with that. You dig? And that's how I look at it. Yeah, that's a fact. They all mad about that. That's a fact. Yeah, because like I said, the people that's a fact, boxing 9741, because the people that support Usyk, they do the same thing for people that support Canelo. Excuse making, don't want to talk about certain things because it might make them look bad instead of just keeping it real. So that's a fact. Facts. If Inoue was black, they would be calling him boring. Yeah, everybody know that. Yeah, that's a fact. They won't say it because he's not black. Everybody knows that. And I personally thought that was a great fight. It was a great technical boxing match. I enjoy those type of fights. A nigga don't got to get knocked out for me to be entertained because I really fuck with boxing. I'm a real boxing fan. So I thought it was a great fight, but I know how these so-called fat fans are on YouTube. If you don't knock a nigga out, oh, the fight's boring because they're not real fans of boxing. I thought it was a great fight, in my honest opinion. It was two great Japanese fighters going at it. One did a little bit better and got the win. I didn't see nothing wrong with it. But I know how you motherfuckers are, you know? And I know black fighter don't get a knockout, he's boring. Non-black fighter don't get a knockout, no comment. So y'all funny like that. It's a double standard for black fighters. 1000% facts. But I don't take your ad hominem attacks lightly. It is what it is. Some people need to get a life. That dude needs to leave you alone. I don't know what's going on, bro. I ain't even I guess I'll speak on it right now. I don't get it, bro. It's like I must have really hurt that nigga's feelings when I dissed him. The only reason why I dissed that nigga is because they're saying this. I'm on the panel with him. They're saying this guy is a boxing expert. I listened to this dude talk. He incorrectly breaks down fights. He gets all his predictions wrong, like all the time. Then you hear me get on there and talk. They hate me because I'm not a Canelo dick rider. But if you listen, I'm getting all my predictions right. Everything I said was going to happen happened. I'm actually correctly breaking down fights. You know, you said that guy can't counterpunch better than this guy, but then when he fought that guy, he couldn't do nothing with him. But you're still willing to say that, like just incorrect about everything. So I dissed him based off of that, and he took that shit serious, bro. The nigga is basically cyber stalking me like a bitch. Bitch shit. Definitely don't respect that. And nobody knows who you are outside of dude's panel. So you're really irrelevant. So yeah, that nigga definitely need to get a life. Down low ass nigga. You know the based on what one of my homegirls told me years ago, a lot of black men on the down low. He acting like one. I believe he is one. I'm not one. So keep that shit over there. I want to see a Benavidez and Canelo fight. Canelo ain't gonna do it. So it's a wrap. You actually give a fuck about Jack Catterall? Jack Catterall can fight. I'm not saying he's the best boxer. Jack Catterall can fight. Jack Catterall Jack Catterall got hands. He ain't the best. I ain't saying all that, but he's definitely not no scrub. Like, nah, don't get it fucked up. I don't get it fucked up. Jack Catterall get busy. And that was a great performance he put on. He outboxed Chakram. You know, some people had Chakram winning that fight. I don't know if you know that. Jack Catterall went in there and shut that shit down and got the belt. Gotta respect that. Jack Catterall's not bad. He's all right. Look forward to his next fight. Did Frank Sanchez pop heads as well? I heard that. I'm going to double check, but I remember hearing that. But whether he did or not, all I know is he knocked Richie Torres the fuck out. That I do know. Put his ass to sleep. Get your ass out of here. I knew, you know, the thing about Richie Torres, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. I was like, because I remember when the pandemic happened and they pushed back the Olympics a year and the Olympics was in 2021 instead of 2020. And I remember watching them in the Olympics, in Olympic boxing, because I fuck with Olympic boxing too. And I remember watching them and I was like, he's cool, but I don't think he's going to be like an elite fighter. And then I was right. They put him in there with somebody that really, really knows what to do and got experience. And he got his ass put to sleep. Because if you fuck with Turkey, Turkey is going to match you with somebody that's going to challenge you. Turkey ain't going to, like he did it with Hamza. We just saw Hamza get a layup. But for the most part, he going to match you with somebody that's going to actually fight you. And it's going to be a competitive fight. You ain't no layups like that. You know, Canelo got a layup with William Skull. But after that, no layups. Crawford, as we saw, ain't a layup. Now he's fighting in Billy. And then I guarantee you, Hamza Shiraz's next fight is not going to be a layup. Whoever it is, whether it's Canelo himself, it's going to be somebody that's going to put some fire on Shiraz. I promise you that. That's how Turkey get down. Top matchmaking. Like, nah, you want to fight? You want this money? You want to fight this tough ass nigga. Nigga, put your brain health on the line and fight this power puncher. That's how Turkey get down. Turkey don't get no fuck. Y'all saw what happened with Jared Anderson fighting that big ass Martin Bacoli. Jared Anderson, no disrespect. Now we grown men, we fighters now. I understand that. We pro boxers, or they pro boxers, not me. And they getting paid. So you fight whoever they put in front of you. But sometimes you got to understand, he really had no business fighting Bacoli at that time. But give him credit for doing it. But y'all saw what happened. So that's how Turkey is. Like, it's top matchmaking over here. You want to fight with Turkey, you got to fight one of these tough niggas. You don't want to fight a tough nigga, I have to redirect you to another guy to put the money up. IBF was trying to say Usyk was better than Crawford. Yeah, I figured they'll say some shit like that. Usyk is good. I just didn't think he was a skilled boxer. People say he was no Mayweather or Crawford. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be hard to say somebody's better than Mayweather or Crawford. You got to be an absolute hater to get up here and be like, oh, there's guys better than Mayweather or Crawford. Like, you're just a fucking hater for real, if you think that. But Usyk is on their level, though. He's on their level. Like, they can all sit at the same table. I'll say that. Yo, solid and salute. Salute, Rose Maverick. Salute. He don't realize that people are going to jail for cyber stalking. Yeah. I ain't gonna rat the nigga out, though. But yeah, that dude's definitely a fucking weirdo, though. That's been proven now. I know that for a fact. If whoever on his side want to defend him, you can do that. But I know for a fact that dude's a fucking weirdo. Steel Mills don't know shit about boxing. He say he wasn't picking yards to beat Benavidez, but he capping. He also picking Zurdo Ramirez. Yeah, that's a fact. You don't know shit about boxing. That's why I dissed him. You dig? You just running your mouth. And then for those that don't know, there's a guy named Mirage that goes over there. They like to crack jokes on and shit. He actually knows more boxing than Steel Mills. And people they talk shit about him. They say he don't know what he's talking about. But if you listen to them talk about boxing, he actually knows more boxing he actually knows more about boxing than Steel Mills does. You know what I mean? And if you guys look up Mirage, he's somebody that people like to crack jokes on and make fun of. But his takes are actually better than Steel Mills' takes. And Steel Mills, his takes is trash. So, but you know, he be pandering to the motherfuckers over there, so they let him slide with that bullshit. Yeah, Richie Torres is a good fighter, but he ain't ready for that smoke. Turkey ain't putting up with that cherry picking shit. Nah, Turkey don't do layups. That's a fact, Rose Maverick. Turkey don't do no layups. It's all tough fights. I just seen Frank Sanchez. He might be on that Mexican beef. You never know. I'm gonna double check that. You never know. Jerry Anderson ain't been the same since. You said Mirage is a fucking nut holder. He's no worse than IBFP. IBFP is a huge nut holder for you know who. He's just as if he's a nut holder, if you are calling Mirage a nut holder, you gotta keep that same energy with IBFP and say he's a big nut holder. All those guys over there are nut holders, but you gotta keep that same energy. Don't like if you're saying Mirage is a nut holder for David Benavidez, you got to keep that energy and keep it real and say IBFP's a nut holder for Canelo. And you know he is. I know you like Canelo too, but you got to keep it real. All them dudes is nut holders for Canelo. So you got to keep it real and say that you got to keep it real. I know you don't want to. I know you like them guys. Them guys you think highly of those guys. I don't know why, but you do. But you got to keep it real. If Mirage is a nut holder, and I'm not even trying to defend Mirage like that because we don't even talk, but I'm just being honest. If he's a nut holder, as you say, you got to keep that same energy and be honest. IBFP's a nut holder also. You got to. I think Steel Mills mad for making fun. We said Brian Number was a pressure fighter. Yeah, I remember when he said that dumb shit. You hear the news, Tank versus Kid Austin might happen? Yeah, I heard that. If I'm Tank, I do that fight because I don't think Kid Austin would be easy, but I think Tank would beat him. There's one thing about Kid Austin. Kid Austin is fast and athletic, and he got some pop. I think Tank would beat him, but I think that fight would be a little tougher than people think. Because Tank is also fast and athletic. You dig? But Kid Austin, he got that, you know how certain fighters can surprise you? Like, you know they're good, but then you get in the ring with them and it's like they might still surprise you. Like it's a different level. You're like, damn, I know you can do all that. That's kind of how Kid Austin is. You know what I mean? That's why I really think that if you remember last year when they did the Bivol and Beterbiev rematch, if you remember, he was supposed to fight Shakur before he pulled out. And that was the most anticipated fight on the fight card. Everybody wanted to see that fight. The Bivol and Beterbiev rematch was there, but everybody wanted to see that fight between Shakur and Kid Austin. That would have been a great fight because they want to see how Shakur was going to do against a dude like that. Everybody wanted to see that fight. You know, that was actually the most anticipated fight on that whole fight card. That the one that was called The Last Crescendo, February 2025. So the Kid Austin and Tank, I would love to see that fight. Keeping it real. I hope that fight happens. I hope Tank says, all right, let's do it. And they come back and fight. And he comes back and fight him. I would love that fight. I think Kid Austin is good competition. And yeah, I think Tank will win, like I said, but I think Kid Austin is good competition. If that fight don't happen, y'all know I like Tank as a boxer, but I ain't fucking with Tank if he don't take that fight. I'm gonna look at Tank kind of funny. Unless he fights somebody else that's a good opponent, but they're ordering this fight, so he should do this fight. But I like that fight. To directly answer the question, I like that fight. That's a great fight if that fight happens. Facts. Mirage was cooking them the night Benavidez beat Zerto. They were making fun of him, saying he was dumb and this, that. who ended up really being idiots. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to defend Mirage like that because I don't talk to him like that, but he be making some really good points, and still Mills does not. So I got to be honest. Got to be honest. I got to be honest. He said David Benavidez could give prime Roy Jones Jr. a run for his money. You know, to speak on that real quick, Roy Jones Jr. is a GOAT and he was unbeatable. Now, I personally think he would have beat Benavidez, but I get why Mirage said that. And he didn't, I don't remember him saying that, but you're saying that he said he'll give Roy Jones Jr. a run. I actually agree with that. I think Roy would have won, but I think Benavidez would have been tough. I'm telling you, Benavidez is tough for anybody. Whether he win or lose, whoever fights David Benavidez is going to have a hard time. If this Bivol fight actually happened, Bivol might win. But that's going to be a really, really tough fight for him. Nobody's going to just walk through Benavidez or just beat Benavidez. You're going to have to really, if you are to beat Benavidez, you're going to have to earn that. And as great as Roy Jones Jr. is, I believe he would have beat David. But I honestly think David would have been, if they would have fought in the same era, he definitely would have been a formidable opponent for Roy. I don't see Roy just going in there and walking through David. I see him beating David, though. Kind of like how, give y'all a boxing history real quick. Roy Jones Jr. moved up to 168, right? And he fought James Toney for the IBF belt in 1994. Now, James Toney is a great fighter. And there are some things that James Toney does that you can kind of like see in Benavidez, like a little different. But if you study James Toney, this is for those that actually got a boxing eye. You casuals might not know what I'm talking about. But anyway, there's some things he does that Benavidez kind of does, James Toney. And Roy fought him, and this is when Roy was in his prime. Roy didn't knock out James Toney. He hit him with a left hook and dropped him, but he didn't stop him. That fight went 12 rounds, and that was a very competitive fight. Roy won, but it was a very competitive fight. And James Toney was game. That's how I think a Benavidez and Roy fight would go. Like, it's like 12 rounds, Benavidez hang with him, probably have some rounds, he wins, but Roy ultimately wins. Because Roy is a better fighter than Benavidez, but the Benavidez's ability, like, big guy, fast hands, that's going to give anybody trouble. So I get why Mirage said that, but I don't think he wouldn't have beaten no Roy. Nah, if that's what he said, I don't agree with that. He wouldn't have beaten no Roy Jones Jr. Enod, stop capping for your Canelo Dick Rider coat. Yeah, he capped way too much. All right, I'll do that. I think Nuke shields for boots in is a bit too much. I don't know much about him in the boots. But yeah, this was an interesting sports weekend, though. This shit went down. It was a great weekend. It was a great fight card. The shit was lit. I just don't like how everybody's making a big deal out of what happened. It's like, bro, it's a fight, bro. Like, relax, bro. Yeah, Usyk should have ran through him due to his experience, and he's the boxer fighting the kickboxer. So I get all that, but it's like you can't downplay or make excuses when you don't get the results you want. That's what I just don't like when people do that shit. And when people do that, I just don't be feeling that shit. That shit just don't sit well with me. And that's what everybody's doing for Usyk right now. Like, bro, just call it what it is, bro. He was having a trouble with a kickboxer, and he technically lost. Let's keep it real. That's what I just don't like. But overall, it was a great weekend, very interesting sports weekend. Cavs went down like some hoes. Thunder got spanked tonight. And the fight card was a great fight card, but something unexpected happened. We saw Usyk get outboxed and get outworked a little bit. And people don't want to just say it. They want to make excuses. So I had to come out here and do what I do. Nah, I don't do no live. I don't watch them lives. You'll be surprised. I haven't watched no live he did since, I think, when did I stop going on there? December. I had that back and forth with that gay dude, and then I had a back and forth with him, and then after that it was over with. And I haven't listened since. I don't even know what's being said over there. I be seeing his videos get recommended. I'll see the thumbnail and I'll see them little bullshit ass titles he put up. It's the same shit over and over again, but I never listen to it. Like I said in my one of my earlier lives, I kind of forgot what the niggas sound like. I don't listen to IBFP no more. When I decided to stop going over there to that clown show, I also stopped listening. Don't get it twisted. Don't think I be listening. I don't. I promise you that. I will be honest though. I'll see when he goes live, like they recommend the videos and I'll see his videos pop up. That part is true. I do be seeing them, but I never click on them and listen to it. I don't listen to none of that bullshit he be saying. I don't take nothing IBFP say serious. He don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Just a Canelo dick rider. Boxing takes is garbage. Hating on black fighters. Got them silly motherfuckers following him with the same old bullshit. And then I told you a year ago when I checked his analytics, he don't get that much engagement when he talks about non-black fighters. But when it's time to hate on black fighters, his views go up. He gets a lot of comments. So people want to hear that bullshit. And that's his audience. I don't fuck with that. So I'm not with that shit. So I don't listen to that shit. And I'm not going to. I have no reason to. So I don't care what he's saying. I don't know nothing about he support Boots Ennis. I'm pretty sure if Boots Ennis was a Mexican, you wouldn't have a problem with him saying he support Boots Ennis if you don't like that he supports Boots Ennis, as you say. Because I know how y'all get down. When it's somebody that's not Hispanic, y'all make a big deal out of it. I know how you motherfuckers get down. I know how y'all get down. It irritates you when somebody's black being supported, but when a Mexican's being supported, it's cool. That's how a lot of y'all move. Because I'm going off what you said. You said he supports Boots, and you said he's doing that too much. I don't remember him liking Boots when I was over there. So this must be new. Yeah, I don't remember him liking Boots. If Boots lose, trust me, he's going to shit on Boots and black fighters. But if Zaya lose, they're going to take it easy on him and make excuses. Hey, we're going to find out. June 27th, it's going down. We're going to find out. Definitely going to find out. You said you don't think Boots is proven yet. Like I said, we're going to find out June 27th. We're going to see. We're going to see. Fight's right around the corner. We're going to see. But all I know is what happened this weekend, though. And what happened this weekend, nobody thought was going to happen. Nobody thought was going to happen. Nah, I respect. You asked me, do I watch soccer? I'm going to keep it real with you. I respect soccer. Straight up, I respect it. It's a great sport. I would never disrespect soccer or people that play soccer or people that like soccer. But me personally, I do not. But I respect it, though, because I know you got to be really skilled to play soccer, and I can respect that. So I don't watch it, but I respect it. It's kind of like my views on women boxing. I respect these young ladies for being athletes, being a boxer, but I'm not really into women's boxing. I'm aware of some certain fighters. Like somebody wanted me to talk about the Clarissa Shields incident. I'm guessing what happened with Alicia Baumgardner. She got She ran up on her and hit her or whatever. So shit like that. Y'all know when I talk about my other videos, y'all pretty much know how I get down with that. I don't fuck with poorly behaved females. Y'all pretty sure y'all heard me y'all heard me say that shit, but so I don't agree with that. I ain't fucking with that, but other than that, I really don't got too much to say about it. Women's boxing. That's how it is about soccer. Like I said, I respect it. It's a great sport. Shout out to people that play soccer, but no, I don't be watching that. Just like I don't watch women's boxing. And that's where it is. Shout out to the soccer players. I knew this Latino girl some years ago that played soccer. She was pretty good at it. So that's how much I can say about soccer. Loved your Megan Thee Stallion videos. These women defending her. Oh yeah, you know we keep it real on that. When it comes to that type of content, we keep it real. That shit is actually what people, black men, deal with in real life. That's facts. So yeah, we keep that shit a hundo. She wouldn't piss on them if they was on fire. That's a fact. That's a fact. And she wouldn't even give them good advice either. Every time I brought up Clarissa Shields' behavior, you said I don't like her because she black. Nah, what I'm saying is when I said that, I remember that video. Now, the reason why I don't want to go hard on Clarissa Shields is because she's not an ordinary black chick that's out here doing bullshit. She's a professional athlete, a pro boxer. So it's like she's actually doing something productive by being a pro athlete. So why are we so hard on her? And then you can't really trip on her acting macho or acting masculine, even though me personally, I obviously don't like women that act like that. But she's a pro boxer. So I'm assuming that's why she's acting like that. And then you motherfuckers come out here and find ways to belittle her. And you don't even have to do that. I'm thinking the understanding is going to be there where it's like, okay, she is a pro athlete, a pro boxer. She's in the hurt business. So that's probably why she acts like that. So I'm thinking you guys are going to understand that and be like, okay, I'm not really going to say anything about her. So I believe when y'all do say shit about her, insult her, it's racially motivated. Because I'm pretty sure if a because I got receipts and I've seen this behavior from non-black people when it comes to this. When somebody that's not black acts like that, y'all ain't going to be talking all that shit. So, and I've seen lots of non-black people do that. So I know that's a fact. So that's why I said that, because she's a pro athlete, bro. This ain't your typical black woman that's walking down the street or just in the hood or wherever. This is a chick that's a pro athlete. So it's not necessarily somebody you should be criticizing too tough like that. But y'all do it anyways. And I'm guessing it's because she's a black woman. That's why I don't agree with that. Now, that shit with Alicia Baumgardner, yeah, that was some stupid shit. I ain't fucking with that. But other than that, I ain't got no criticisms for her. And again, I don't watch women's boxing. I don't pay attention to that. I watch boxing, men's boxing. I don't watch women's boxing. I have no interest in that. I couldn't even name her last 3 fights because I don't watch that. Couldn't name not one fight in the last 2 years that she did. I'm trying to think right now. No, I can't even name not one. I don't even know who Alicia Baumgardner fought. All I know is she looked good and I would hit that. That's about it. And I don't even know who she fought last. So that's y'all watch women's boxing. I don't. Same here. Soccer, my main sport. They could have a game in LV where I live, but the Raiders owner don't want to widen it. Marco Cuban, that sucked, bro. Vegas would have been a good place for a world match. But she carries herself with no class, despite her being an athlete. Not really. It's just internet antics. It's just internet antics. Clarissa Shields a good fighter. Yeah, I heard she was good. Well, she's straight out of Flint, though. Shit. Yeah, she definitely from the hood. A lot of Canelo fans hate Clarissa Shields because she called out Canelo ducking black fighters. Yeah, I remember hearing something like that. But I'm guessing they cool now because they had a ring event not too long ago and Canelo was there and he was taking pictures with her. So I guess that shit got squashed. One thing about Canelo, though, is he fuck with black media as a Mexican dude. A lot of Mexicans do because he be doing interviews with the Sway in the Morning, Big Boy in the Neighborhood. That's all black media. And y'all know Canelo, he got his English is much better now. And he was on the Breakfast Club and that's all black media. And he be on the Chopping Up Game with him. So Canelo, he fuck with the black media. He just did an interview with that crazy ass dude, Showbiz. He's black. He's dapping him up. I know IBFP is jealous of Showbiz because he actually knows Canelo. He actually got autographed merchandise from Canelo. Canelo dapping him up. Canelo talking to him. He's doing interviews with Canelo. While IBFP bitch ass be having wet dreams over Canelo. So I know IBFP is jealous of Showbiz. So yeah, so that shit with Clarissa Shields and Canelo, that shit probably squashed. Ain't no smoke. And I'll say this to keep it real with y'all. When she said that, I disagree with her. I don't think Canelo ducking no black fighter. I never believed that. So when she said that, I didn't agree with that. So I'll be honest with you. Yes, I'm saying Showbiz, he actually know these guys. He actually know Canelo. And you got guys like IBFP stay on Canelo's dick. He don't even know the man. I bet you if he met IBFP, he'll probably think IBFP is a fucking weirdo. Probably wouldn't even fuck with him. I bet you. If he met him for real, this dude's a fucking weirdo. I bet you he'll do that. Because Canelo's a no-nonsense type guy. Yeah, so that's what it is. You said one thing about Minnesota, they love their hockey. I'm a Chicago/Minnesota guy. I got family in both places, Minneapolis, Chicago. And Minneapolis, speaking on Minnesota, Minnesota is an underrated sports city, sports town. You hear that and you think it's about hockey, but actually it's really a basketball town, the Timberwolves. If you was in Minnesota, these people up here, they love their basketball. Timberwolves. It's always been like that ever since KG was here back in the day. And now you got Anthony Edwards. They love their basketball. And then you already know about Chicago, Mike Jordan and all that. You already know about that. And then later on, D Rose. But yeah, Minnesota. Yeah, you when you think of Minnesota, you would think of hockey and all that. But nah, you actually touch down up here, huge basketball town. That's the #1 sport in Minnesota. You wouldn't think that though, but it's basketball. And then after basketball is football. And then you can say baseball because they love the Vikings. So I would be like Oscar De La Hoya. I'm Mexican, but I was born in the USA. All right. But unlike Oscar, I can speak decent Spanish. Yeah, they cringe as fuck. Can't watch him no more. To me, the greatest Mexican boxer ever is Julio Cesar Chavez. My favorite Mexican boxer of all time, me personally, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, and y'all probably wouldn't think I like him, but this is actually my favorite. A lot of Mexican fighters are great, so this could change. But these are my favorite Mexican fighters. It's a two-way tie between De La Hoya and Juan Manuel Marquez. So it's really two. Those are my two favorites. But there's so many Mexican fighters I like, though. You know what I mean? And then when it's all said and done, David Benavidez is going to be on there. But of all time, those are my two favorite. When De La Hoya was in his prime, the Golden Boy, that was one of my favorite fighters back in the day. Golden Boy was that dude. And then I liked Marquez. Marquez was hard. Pause. Marquez was that dude. And I liked Barrera too. Antonio Marco Barrera, I liked him too. Because me personally, I feel like De La Hoya in his prime versus Chavez in his prime, I feel like De La Hoya was the better boxer. I know Chavez is an Iron Man, so everybody likes Chavez, and I understand that. I feel like De La Hoya was just better. Or he was just a more skillful boxer, in my opinion. So yeah, mine's is a lot of great Mexican fighters I like and got a lot of respect for. But my two favorite, it's a two-way tie between De La Hoya and Marquez. Those are my two. A lot of people think I wouldn't like Marquez, but nah, Marquez was nice. People get it fucked up because he lost to Mayweather and he lost to Timothy Bradley. Nah, nigga, you go through his career, Marquez wasn't no joke. Marquez was putting hands on niggas. And De La Hoya was nice. You know, De La Hoya got that robbery win against Pernell Whitaker, but other than that, I fuck with De La Hoya. To me, you heard of the YouTuber Joseph Vincent? Nah, I never heard of him. Yeah, Finito Lopez, another one. I could have said him. He was really good. Yeah, De La Hoya. Yeah, De La Hoya was my guy. Prime De La Hoya was my guy. I don't give a fuck how many losses De La Hoya had. De La Hoya was certified. He official. I fuck with De La Hoya. Only thing I can say about De La Hoya is I can't agree with is obviously that cross-dressing shit. Y'all know I ain't fucking with that. So I disagree with that. And then I heard he be doing drugs and shit. I ain't fucking with that either. But when it came to getting in the ring and boxing, Golden Boy wasn't no joke. So that's one of my favorite personal fighters. So a lot of people think I hate Mexicans, even though I explain over and over again why I say that. But they want to be ignorant, so you know how that is. I support all the Chicago teams, bro. All right. Yeah, Marquez was good. Yeah, Marquez was the truth. Yeah, when he knocked out Pacquiao in 2012, that was knockout of the year. Put Pacquiao ass to sleep. And he deserved that knockout against Pacquiao because Pacquiao was always getting the better of him. He deserved that one. He deserved that. Now, I fuck with Pacquiao. You know, I didn't really like seeing him get put down like that, to be honest with y'all. But Marquez deserved to get that honor because he was always getting the better of Marquez, but not that time. Not that time. And he was losing that fight at the time he stopped him. Pacquiao was going to win on points. But Marquez said, fuck that. Caught him with that right. Yeah, Salvador Sanchez, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he passed away. He was young, only 23. Yeah, he was really good. Yeah. That was unfortunate. Golden Boy was a monster back then. That's a fact. Bro, Mexicans got some of the best food in the world and some of the hottest women. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. When it comes to the women, I'm gonna keep it real. Y'all know I love Kerry Washington and Halle Berry, but my two celebrity crushes when I was a kid growing up were three of them. I always loved Jennifer Lopez and still do. I used to love Jessica Alba. And I love Eva Longoria. Those are all Latino women. And I like that one from Modern Families too. Uh, the Colombian chick. Cause but I always love J-Lo though. J-Lo the shit to me. I fuck with J-Lo. So nah, Latino women definitely. You said Mexican, but I was just Latino. I got tired of seeing Marquez. Yeah. Sofia Vergara. Yeah. She certified. That's like 1 through 10. She a 10. I know these some older ladies. So usually we looking for the younger chicks like in their 20s. But yeah, Sofia Vergara, that's a baddie right there. Like she's certified. Yeah, the Colombian chick. Yeah, Colombian actress. Yeah, she the truth. She dope. That's the kind of bitch I need. I need a bitch like that. Badass Colombian chick. I need a bitch like that. Like that. Like that. I like that shit. Hell yeah. Yeah, I love Sofia Vergara. She the truth. Spanish hoes on point. Like that. Yeah, J-Lo. Yeah, I love J-Lo. I've always, when I was in high school, middle school, ever since I was a kid and I seen Anaconda. Y'all remember Anaconda back in the day? Ice Cube, this big ass snake. Y'all remember that back in the 90s when I was a kid? But yeah, J-Lo was on there. And I'm like, man, J-Lo bad. I love this chick, bro. And then she got her music. Her music is cool. You know what I'm saying? I fucks with that. But yeah, J-Lo the truth. I always love J-Lo. I love me some Eva Longoria. Because I know Eva Longoria from, she used to date dude that played for the Spurs, Tony Parker. That's how I started finding out who she was. I'm like, damn, that's a little bad little bitch right there. Who that? Damn, Eva Longoria, this bitch bad. I like her. Like that. Jessica Alba, always fucks with her. Oh, yeah. The lady that played the nanny. Somebody, I don't know who that is. Somebody got to refresh me on that. Yeah, Selma Hayek. Yeah, Selma Hayek is not bad, especially when she was younger. Remember that movie she did with Will Smith? And that classic movie with Antonio Banderas, Desperado. Yeah, Selma Hayek a baddie. That's a fact. I like that. I ain't mad at that. Okay, yeah, Sofia Vergara, yeah, definitely can get it. Yeah, all these chicks is bad. Yeah, Rihanna, I like Rihanna. Rihanna's bad. I fucks with that. Yeah, bro, I saw it in the theaters in '97. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's what's up. I thought you was in your 20s. Actually, I am. A lot of stuff I just do research on. But I remember in the '90s, Jennifer Lopez was in a movie called Anaconda, and Ice Cube was on there with her. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Jessica Alba used to do this show called Dark Angel. I used to see a while ago, and ever since then, I'm like, man, I'm fucking with Jessica Alba. Fucks with Jessica Alba for real. All them Latin girls is baddies though. Like Like in real life, you see some ugly ones, but it's like TV or whatever. Like a lot of these Latin chicks be bad, bro. Like I be like, I go get a new cell because I got the iPhone joint. I go get a new phone, and the person doing the transaction, it'd be a bad Latin chick. I'm like, man, if this line went long and people didn't have to get their shit done, I'd probably fuck around and try to holler at her. I don't give a fuck. Some Latin chicks be bad. We got to keep it real. Them Latino chicks is be on point. You said IBFP and Park Street swapping hookers numbers. Oh, I don't know nothing about that. Okay. Yeah, that's not that's I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend that. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. How about Vita? Yeah, Vita Guerrera, the magazine chick. Yeah, she's bad. Yeah, Vita Guerrera is still the truth. I fucks with her. Little Cuban chick. Yeah, fucks with that. Eva Longoria had to tell her grandma that Parker was French and not Negro. Yeah, a lot of that should be unfortunate because I got a little Mexican chick I be messing with, and one time I end up pillow talking with her, and she told me about how Latinos be not feeling when black dudes date they women and shit. And get into that some other time, but yeah, so I know that type of shit be happening, but as you guys know, black dudes still be pulling Latino chicks despite that, so it is what it is. But now, as far as that Park Streets and you said be exchanging hooker numbers, yeah, that's not a good idea. I would tell those guys to not do that. Wild Wild West, yeah. Angelina Jolie was cool. Yeah, Angelina Jolie in her prime, she was cool. Like when she did Tomb Raider and all that, she was cool. Caribbean women, yeah, that's a fact. Ice Cube, the first black dude to survive a horror movie, that's a fact. Jessica Alba from Camp Nowhere, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, all these chicks is bad though. Yeah, them dudes got to stop doing that. That's unfortunate. But nah, Latino women, they some baddies, man. If you can get a Latin chick, if you a black man and you can get a Latin chick, I strongly recommend doing that shit. Latino chicks is good. You heard it from Solidus-T. All these chicks is bad though. Let me say this. I'm gonna let y'all go, but let me say this. All these chicks is bad. Black, white, Latino. Just make sure she ain't no ghetto ass, ratchet ass, single mom ass, bogus ass, dysfunctional bitch. If you can duck those type of females, it don't matter what race she is. I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I appreciate y'all jumping on this live. I hope y'all have a good Memorial Day. And y'all already know Solid's gonna come back with some more content. You already know that. So I'm gonna let y'all go. We'll chop it up with y'all on the next one. Appreciate y'all.